Hi, hello, and welcome to Lo Brahmano, part of the Serene Suites here at the Vertex of Abundance. My name is Ablossi Baba, also known as the Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I'll be your oracle today. I want to talk to you a little bit about what is a naming ceremony. How precisely does that work? So for me, the ceremony of naming is the 7 cups. We're familiar with the whole 7 cups or 9 cups on the Boveda or the ancestor altar, and each of them have like a minimal amount of water in it, and then the one in the center has a little bit more water than the other ones. And some of us look at it in all kind of different ways. Some of us look at the 7 glasses that's each holding individual spirits. Some of us look at the middle 7 glass being the main divinity, and then the other 6 glasses being the divinities that serve. It can be different strokes for different folks, but we do have a general name. We do have a true, genuine spirit name. There is one specific divinity that is the most enshrined within us. So if the body is a temple, God lives in the church, right? Where does God live? The church. Where does God live? The heaven. So if the body is a temple, enshrined alive in us is a drop of that divine light, is a drop of God. We all have access to most of the 7 powers, and we know and deal with them already, whether we know or don't know. We do know these powers, and we do deal with them, whether it's conscious or unconscious. They are the 7 planets, for instance, in our charts, the 7 colors in the rainbow, the 7 seas, and even the sounds for the musicians out there. They rule the major functions of our lives and even the experience, okay? These are the channels for our powers. Behind these are the 3 supreme lords. I call them Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, but we would know them as Uranus, as Pluto, as Neptune. These lords embody the supreme divinity, and they deeply determine how one of the individual 7 powers reach its supremacy in our life. Sometimes we're crowned to a spirit, but basically we have a duty and a service post from one of these spirits as well. So even if we're not elevated, exalted, even if we're not in a prestigious position in this lifetime through one of the main 7 powers, the 3 supreme lords will at least say, this is our duty post and this is who we work for. Okay, so these determine during the naming ceremony what our source energies are, what our spiritual gifts are, and again, like I said, our rules and our duties in the temple. The naming ceremony is when our spiritual self, like our spiritual body, our causal body, stands before the 7 powers and the 3 supreme Vodoun to hear the name of our head spirit. All of the divinities alive in us have a container at this point, or a sacred space, to speak up and choose a name for us officially for the record. The big Vodouns are the source powers, and then we all have a temple duty post, which is the world itself is the marketplace, but we live in the heavens. That's our home. And then when we incarnate on earth, we're away from home at the marketplace. During that time, we'll have a duty, service, and position. Okay, so we'll have basically a title, and we'll have a spirit, which is basically called a power. So let's talk about the powers. There's the lordship powers, which is basically like the sun and the moon. We call those the Mami Dan. We call those the Mami Wata. And basically it's the sun, the moon, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Remember, I also talked about the supreme divinities. That's all lordship. Now, we also have a crown. A crown is the top of our head. A crown is the most ascended or actualized or awakened, or basically it's like the management position in the body itself, the third eye, the crown. Okay, so that's Venus and the moon, Mami Wata, Mami Chamba. Okay, so your Da and the sun and the moon and Neptune and Pluto, those will give you your lordship. Your Venus, your moon, those will give you the crown. Now we also have warrior spirits. Okay, Ade, Ogun, Havioso, Sakwata. Sakwata is Babalue. Havioso is Shango, Ogun is Ogun, Ade is Atosi. This is your Mars, your Jupiter, your Saturn. These are your warrior spirits. They're the ones who do the heavy, hard work. They're the ones who need to kind of overcome the human experience. They're the ones through which are experiencing all the kind of flight and fancy, all the highs and lows that we experience this through incarnating in the body. The spirit is very free, so also being put in a body, a soul, could also be a little bit of like an imprisonment experience. There is some suffering that comes with not living in the seed, not living in freedom, not living in eternity, but living in some type of time space incarnation. So that's Ade, Ogun, Havioso, Sakpata, basically your Mars, your Jupiter, your Sun. Then your priesthood gets named. Mainly that's a Jakpa and Tahosu. So, okay, it can be that, you're a priest to some of the warrior spirits, but the priesthood typically talks about the nodes, the sign in the house that they're in, also the fixed stars. So what fixed stars, points of regality, points of regalia, do your other lordship, crown, warriorhood interact with, okay? And then we have actual spiritual tools. So these is your Ifa, beads, tables, your regalia, whether you get a scepter, a ring, a stool, a crown. Also, this like your house and temple enshrinement. Some of us get a legba that we get to put by the door or right inside when we first come home. Also, we have powers vested in us, and we also have a ceremonial ascension ceremony. All these things get told to us through the Ifa, and these happen in the naming ceremony as well. And this is basically like your legba. Your legba will come with information on how you walk and show up, negotiate, navigate through the spiritual world, whether you get a ring, a bracelet, necklaces. Some of us call them elekes, things of that nature. This is very Radha house, West African Vodoun, not a lot of Santeria, Kondumle, Ifa, not a lot of Orisha even. Okay, very specific Ghana, Togo, Benin, very specific West African Vodoun, very specific. The way and style. Now it does interlace with a lot of other things, Santeria, Kondumle, Ifa, Paulo, Orisha, but this is very specifically West African Vodoun. You will receive a Vodoun name from Mawuseg Polisa and their associates. Okay. Now, in the marketplace, we show up to a duty post. So we'll find that we have a title. So we're most familiar with the Bokono, which is like a priest. He's not even the high priest, but the Bokono is a leader and a master in the trade craft. They know how to work properly with one spirit. Maybe Mami Dan, maybe Mami Wata, maybe Ogun Havioso Sakpata Ade, maybe Tahoso Ajakpa Legba. Okay, so that's the Bokono. In the order it goes, it's the Hunsi. She's the queen mother. She's the principal judge of Vodoun. We, in other parts of the world, will call her a Mambo. Okay, even if she has many children, even if she is not a virgin, we call her the Virgin Mother because she's the eternal bride of the spirits. Okay, her wedded to the spirit puts us in the goddess's hands, and as a community, that's really great. Hunsi is a high and esteemed position within a Vodoun community. Then the next is the Tasino, which is the commander of the Vodoun, usually a sub-commander. These are women of prayer, and they're the warrior if the man of the soul group. Okay, now at the top of the temple is the Hunsi and the Huno. These are the principal judge, the principal priest. The Hunsi is the queen mother of the soul group. The Huno is the master of the head spirit. Okay, and then you have the Tasino, which is a commander of the Vodoun. They're a woman of prayer. If they're male, they're a warrior of the soul group. We also have a Vodounsi, which is like a sub-priestess of Vodoun. They basically represent the twin flame of the spirit of the soul group incarnate. Like I said before, we also have the Bokono, which will be like the sub-priest. They are not working with all the Vodoun at one time. They're working with one Vodoun specifically, and that one Vodoun specifically, they're a master. All of their workings, all of their herbs, all of their medicine, all of the trade craft that's involved with that specific Vodoun. The last we have is the chief. They could be married to a Hunsi, they could be married to a Vodounsi, But basically, they're the principal of a Vodoun household, not the community, the very specific household. They're a leader also of statecraft, so they've, become some type of skill that gets offered to the community. So think about the chief, that's the emperor card. It means lord. The Bokono is a priest, that's the Hierophant card. The Huno versus the Bokono, that's the hermit. They're an elder. The Huno is also the master of the head spirit, okay? The Hunsi is the strength card, okay? The Tasino is the chariot card, and the Vodunsi is the lover's card. So we have the chief being the emperor, the Bokono being the Hierophant, the Vodunsi being the lover's card, the Tasino being the chariot card, the Hunsi being the strength card, and the Huno being the hermit card. The elevation goes from grade 4 to 9, and that's usually when you move from a bachelor's to a master's or a doctoral level in college. So the Huno, the Hunsis, those are going to be adepts and masters. Those are going to be at the height of the temple. And during the naming ceremony, if it comes out that you are a Huno or a Hunsi, that's a very esteemed position. You're a very special soul. Most of us are going to be Vodunsis. Most of us are going to be Tasinos, because even as a Vodunsi or Tasino, you can still be a Bokono. See, a Bokono is a specialist. The Vodunsi, the Tasino, the Hunsi, the Huno, they're generalists because they work mainly with the community and with the nation. The Bokono, the chieftain, they work mainly with the household. They work mainly with the individual spirit. Okay, but these are the temple duty posts in the marketplace, and these are, so you'll be like, say for instance, an Ogun Tasino, an Ogun Huno. For instance, you might be a Legba Bokono, you might be an Ade Tasino, okay? So you might be a Sakpata Huno, okay? So that's what happens in the naming ceremony. And you do get one main name. Sometimes you get one public name and you get one private name, and then you also get 4 or 5 other names too. So all the spirits come through and they say what you are. They say, oh, this is her name, this is what she does. This is her name, this is what she does for me. So you might be a Bokono 5 times over, which means you have 5 different names. You might be a Bokono 7 times over because you have 7 different names. So once you have mastered your relationship with that individual name, you'll be a Huno for one of the names, while you're a Bokono for all the other names. So what is a Bokono? A Bokono is someone who can understand the communication and the language in the Ifa from that specific spirit. What is a chieftain? A chieftain has a job, a duty post for that specific spirit. For instance, I'm a Sakpata Huno, meaning my job is to do Sakpata work. Elder of elders, teacher of teachers, master of master, king of kings. That's typically what elders do. So one of those 4 things I said, teacher of teachers, master of master, elder of elders, king of kings, one of those 4 is going to be me, Huno. For instance, a Hunsi is like a judge. They resolve things. They prepare for the spirits to come through and make massive transitions. They say when things start, when things stop. They tell us what to do and how it should be done. So that's how a naming ceremony works. We'll find out who we are and what we are.